Happy Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday's market wrap-up here at Top Gun Options. Another epic week here across our portfolios. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz, and all eyes were on the non-farm payroll this morning. U.S. economy added 136,000 jobs in September. Average hourly earnings actually saw a nice increase, 2.9%. A little bit of a slowdown from previous months, but still growing. The unemployment rate is at a 50-year low. So look at that. Average hourly earnings, non-farm payroll, and the unemployment rate. That's just so 50-year low. So obviously you can imagine who was up bright and early on Twitter watching the jobs number here. And Trump's crowing all over the place. This helps a lot of our positions that are expiring today. Why? Because this is kind of let's call it just a Goldilocks report. I kind of hate using that term, but it's the truth. If you're bearish, you're going to see some good in this, and if you're bullish, you're going to see some good on this. What do I mean by that? Obviously, the implosion this week was on some weak ISM. Non-manufacturing and manufacturing, and we imploded, right? Oh, geez, here comes a recession. Then, as I predicted on Wednesday, we were going to rebound. We were going to get hey, it's so bad that the Fed's going to have to come in and rescue us, right? The Fed funds futures rate for a cut in a couple weeks jumped up to about 75. Now, the Fed funds futures rate today stayed up in the 70s for October, but it decreased to below 50 for December. So, and again, like I predicted here and that crash, I predicted here and that crash. After each one of these cuts, folks, we're getting these lower highs, and the Fed's magic is wearing off. So any kind of rally in here into the Fed meeting is baked in. So him cutting 25 points again is baked in, and I think once again I'm going to be right that we sell off after the Fed, since it's baked in. Now we're going to talk about some other stuff in a couple minutes, but quick review. Like I said, we had a epic week here at Top Gun Options. We did our analyzed portfolios and our weekly debrief yesterday. We closed an American Airlines burner trade, right? A bear call spread where we took in a credit and bought some puts. That trade closed eventually for $7,000, $7,250 in profit in a week and a half. Absolutely fantastic. Put on a new burner trade yesterday on Delta Airlines. Take a look at Delta. Delta is on a ledge right now. Implosion on the whole Airbus subsidies, WTO rolling, some other downgrades by Delta. This thing is a falling knife, which means you want to pound it into the dirt. A little bit of a ledge here. I mean, we're just hanging. We're heading lower here. Another reason I put, the main reason I put on this bearish burner trade on American Airlines was because between now and next Friday, I believe Iran's going to do something in the Gulf, bigger, worse, and oil is going to spike and the airlines are going to implode. Little did I know they were going to implode before that. So that's why I put on the new Delta burner trade. Take a look at some of the other trades we have expiring today. Look at this. The bear call spread, the 40-40.5 bear call spread on FXI. That's the iShares China ETF. That's looking to close this afternoon for a profit of $2,880 on limited risk. And look, that's a bearish trade, right? Bearish trade. Very bad news out of China. We'll get to in a couple seconds about what's going on over there. It's not going to turn out well. But look at what I did out the next Friday. I put on a bull put spread. Why? I believe, I don't know, man, round number 14 could be the charm, right? Number 14, this is the 14th time next Thursday and Friday that our negotiators are going to be talking. Trump needs a deal. Xi needs a deal. Something at least positive has to come out of this, or I think Steve Mnuchin's gone. So bear call spread expiring today, bull put spread expiring next week. This is how we dogfight this market. Check out this one-day trade. We put this on yesterday afternoon at 1 o'clock in the brief here. Look at this. A bear call spread that expires today on volatility. The 26.5, 27. Take a look at this trade. One day, it's up $1,800, and it's going to most likely expire this afternoon for a full $2,100. So if you take a look at the American Airlines trade, the FXI, and also the bearish on volatility, that's just in here, folks. That's $12,230 in profit. If you didn't make $12,230 this week, and your your portfolio got hammered as this market imploded, you're doing it wrong. So do me a favor. Head to go.topgunoptions.com/FT. Actually, do yourself a favor. Don't do me a favor. I'm going to do you a favor by opening up the doors to our training squadron the week of October 14th to 18th. Middle of next week, I'm going to head up to Vermont, see my son. He's up at Norwich University. When I get back, man, opening up the doors so you can see how we do this. Many of you might be sitting there like, whoa, you put a one-day bearish trade on yesterday? Yeah, because as I predicted, Wednesday and Thursday, I said, we're not going to hit this 200-day moving average. We're going to pull out of this nosedive because the market's going to wake up to the fact that Jerome Powell, Uncle Fed, has to come and rescue us. And that's exactly what happened. One-day trade for $2,100. Folks, just another epic week. And I didn't even cover some of the other positions that we have on across the portfolios, close to $20,000 in profit this week. August was my best month of trading in 27 years, and welcome to Volatile October, and it's only going to get worse. Quick heads up here. We are going to limit this full throttle, this free week, to 1,000 folks. Man, we already have 346 registered. I just started talking about this 2 days ago. We're going to limit to 1,000 folks. Why? Because when I get a ton of people in the training room, when I do all my free stuff, it's a zoo. I can't. This is why we limit our membership here at Top Gun Options, because when we're in our live trade briefs, nobody leaves with a question mark over their head or a clue bird flapping on their shoulder. I answer everybody's question. We keep our membership tight and small. So when I do these free briefs and we get thousands of people registered and just a slew of unwashed masses in there, I don't enjoy it, and we're limiting it this time. So based on me only talking about this for 2 days, we already have about 350 people registered. We're going to be full before I head up to Norwich next week. So you got to get your slot, get it early. It's free. Go to topgunoptions.com/FT. Now, some bad things going on, or interesting things. Not necessarily bad. We could potentially make money on it. So CNN is reporting that Trump raised Biden with Xi Jinping in a June call. Okay, well, it sounds like he's out in the open about doing this. I mean, technically, the guy's the chief law enforcement officer of the country. If he sees potential crime or wrongdoing, he's supposed to do something about it, but I guess if you're a Democrat, you can't. But here's the deal. This is why it's bad, because apparently on this call, Trump said he would kind of keep his mouth shut a little bit on Hong Kong. That's not good. That's bad. You heard me earlier in the week on Tuesday absolutely scorch this guy. He was an idiot. What an absolute fool on October 1st to wish China a happy anniversary for the 7th anniversary of communism taking over the country. It's killed millions. They're doing ethnic cleansing against the Uyghurs in the East. Are you kidding me? I mean, Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, the Republicans had to come out and completely blast that. They condemned what the president said and blasted Hong Kong, folks. Earlier in the week, they shot a kid in the chest, man, 18-year-old. And today they imposed emergency powers. They haven't done this since this hasn't happened in Hong Kong since something like 1697. So you get a year in jail for wearing a mask in public. A year in jail, folks. So do you think these kids are actually, or adults or whoever, are going to actually listen to that rule, or are they going to just arrest millions of people? Earlier in the week, I reported that China had doubled their troop levels in Hong Kong. So this is getting bad. So the fact that Trump said, hey, I'm going to kind of keep it quiet about Hong Kong, what's going on if you investigate Biden, now I'm pissed. That's an absolute disgrace. And when the president starts losing a guy like me, he's in trouble. I get that the Democrats, the whole Ukraine thing, all the Russia collusion crap he's pissed off about. But saying you're going to kind of keep quiet on about what's going on in Hong Kong is ridiculous. And that just makes me furious. And I've been reporting for 2 months, folks. You've heard it here first. With this, when he was quiet on Hong Kong, what did I say? I'm like, first of all, I condemned it, but second of all, I said he wants a trade deal. He's doing the whole, and then I said he's going to be forced to choose. And what was it, like a week later or 5 days later, he finally came out and said something about the protesters and said, everybody just kind of be calm. What? You got guys running around in there with American flags. You have people putting up Thomas Paine quotes, right? Give me liberty or give me death. We have people in Portland, Oregon running around with communist flags and masks on. Antifa. I'd rather swap the people in Portland for these Hong Kong protesters. It's disgusting. Anyway, folks, so it's going to be dicey. So like I said, bear call spread on FXI is looking good to expire today. The break even on this trade is like 40.18, and right now we're literally just hovering right at 40, which is perfect. Okay. And like I said, bullish trade out to next Friday. I put on the 39.5 bull put spread. Okay. What else is going on? Another reason the airlines imploded was the U.S. this week. The WTO actually ruled in the U.S. favor, so we can impose tariffs on all this stuff. So that's another shot across the hour. But like I said, I went initially bearish on American because I thought oil was going to spike on an Iran strike. I still think that is, so I pounded into Delta like we covered a little while ago. 36,000 jobs. What's the Fed going to do now? Well, the Fed's insurance, right? These past two rate cuts, the last rate cut right here was a hawkish cut. What do I mean by that? It's kind of like he didn't want to, but he still did. And this is the most divided Fed I've ever seen in 27 years. So, I get kind of the weak ISM this week, but it's a little bit of a brown shoot and a lot of good. I think the economy is doing fantastic. The Democrats are going to try and talk us into a recession, right? You can actually get yourself into one if you say it long enough. A lie repeated, often enough becomes fact. Taking it right out of the Nazi handbook. So I think the economy is still good. I don't think the Fed should be cutting interest rates, but they're going to next week or in a week and a half, and we're going to go down. And I'm going to show you how to trade that. Okay. This is from yesterday. Markets now see a 90% chance of a rate cut. That's actually down to 70. So this jobs report, again, it was Goldilocks. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, but the Fed should cut based on the way they talk about being data dependent, but we'll see. They can always surprise. We also talked about this week how the bull market is losing one of its most powerful backers. Who? The market. Corporate America, folks. The number one buyer of the S&P 500 for the past 2 years was who? Them. The S&P 500. Now they ain't buying back as much stock, and that's kind of a big deal. So net, I'm going to remain volatile. What does this look like? Implosion through the 50, kind of a dead cat bounce short of the 50. Implosion through the 50, dead cat bounce ish, a little higher. What did I say this week? I said cut August and drop it right in here into October. Now, all that's going to change on a couple things. All that's going to change on if we get some kind of bullish news on trade this time next week, next Friday. It also changes if, like some of my sources are telling me that the Grand Supreme Burrito does something over in the Gulf, and then all bets are off because this time around, I think it's going to be bigger, which God forbid anybody gets injured, especially Americans, but it's going to force Trump to respond, and then now we're even to a bigger political shitstorm with Democrats frothing at the mouth that the president only took military action to wag the dog, right? To take attention away from his impeachment inquiry. So here we go. I was in the Middle East. I was on the Abraham Lincoln and the Kitty Hawk when the Republicans said that to Clinton. Whenever Clinton, threw a couple bottle rockets at Saddam or did Operation Desert Fox, Republicans were frothing at the mouth that he was doing it to, get away from his impeachment stuff. Republicans were wrong to do it. Democrats are going to be wrong to do it. But net, the whole impeachment stuff this week really is blown up in the Democrats' face. The market could care less about it. We're not going to pay attention to it. Kind of interesting that Adam Schiff knew about the whistleblower complaint. I think he actually helped write it. It's written like he did, folks. I mean, come on. The guy's been lying for 2.5, 3 years that he had absolute evidence of Trump's collusion. And then when that blew up, now they moved on to this. This is the deep state. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, purple, green, yellow, blue, you should be absolutely furious that the deep state, right? Chuck Schumer warned Donald Trump a while ago. He said, hey, man, don't mess with the intel community. They can screw you 6 ways till Sunday. He wasn't kidding, man. So we should be embarrassed and livid and ashamed. First of all, that like Comey and dirty FBI agents and Department of Justice officials lied to get warrants to spy on a political opponent. This is insanity going on, folks. But again, if we're hurtling towards something bad in this country, one side's got a trillion rounds of ammo, and the other side's confused about what bathroom they use. I do not want that. Nobody wants that, but I'm telling you, man, I'm not going to stand by and have deep state entrenched quote power unseat the duly elected president of the United States. It's a coup, ladies and gentlemen. They ain't using guns, but this is another attempt at a coup against this president. And if you aren't outraged by this, you're part of the problem. All right, so head to go.topgunoptions.com/FT. That stands for full throttle. Like I said, over 12 grand just in this portfolio right here with American Airlines, with FXI, and with a one-day volatility trade. How many of you would like to be going into the weekend, going out tonight with an extra $1,900 in your pocket just on that one-day volatility trade, which we timed absolutely perfectly right there? As the market imploded, I said, nope, it's going to turn around. So vol spiked, and I sold into it, and now look at it, man. Love it. Having an absolute blast here. So we'll see you. You got to register early, guys. Do it right now. Head to go.topgunoptions.com/FT for full throttle and get your slot, because like I said, going forward, we're going to start limiting these full throttles because it's a zoo, and I think it hurts the quality of my trading and stuff, trying to answer 5,000 questions. Not going to do it. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll be back for Monday's market outlook. We'll see.